I woke up thinking, what if my steak and lobster could talk? See, yesterday was Easter, and I ate steak and lobster. If it could, I'm sure the steak would say, I know I look good now, but not long ago, I was a living, breathing creature. Even more recent than that, I was a disgusting pile of bloody meat on a butcher's table. Surely you don't want to eat me. And my lobster would have said, I know I look good now, butter glistening all over my supple.
The water would just glisten all over your body.
But have you ever seen me in my natural habitat? If shrimp are the cockroaches of the sea, then I'm like one of those megalobota cockroaches, the ones that are big enough to kill a rat. Did you know they boiled me alive? You should not eat meat. Protest to inhumanity. And of course I'd be like,
okay, we get all of that.
I've learned to live with it. If my surf and turf were smart, they'd follow up with a much better strategy. They'd be like, today's Easter, right? Shouldn't you be thinking about Jesus? You think Jesus would be eating steak and lobster when there's still a pandemic out there? There's a war in Europe. Hundreds, maybe thousands of innocent people dying every day. Children starving. People are out there looking for stray dogs to eat. Imagine the Lord looking down at those scenes of carnage, then looking at you, squeezing fresh lemon over your butter sauce. Fact, the surf and the turf make a good point. Everything they said is absolutely true.
But apparently I can live with that too, and so can you.
Like me, you like rap, you like sports, and you like capitalism. When DJ Khaled said, you like that. When John Moran jumps over the rim, dumping the ball, you like that. When you cash out your 401k or cash that check from YouTube,
that's what they like.
you would never let the guy that got dunked on, or the person who doesn't have a 401k or a successful YouTube channel, make you feel bad about those things. Everybody ain't able.
But Israel, you're missing something. What about equality, humility, mercy, forgiveness, and sacrifice?
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Friedrich Nietzsche, the all-time great philosopher, would say, Israel, the reason that you want to see Michael Jordan dunk the ball and not lay it up is because you want to see someone great fulfill their potential for greatness. Do you. Be all you can do. The essence of your very life force demands it. Put that way, who could argue with Nietzsche? But let's put it another way. This is Russia. This is Ukraine. Russia is bigger and stronger, and it wants this land that lies on its border for reasons of national interest. So should they invade the country, replace the government, and take control? Nietzsche would say, if that's what they want, and they can do it, it's in the game. And what about slavery in America? We have two groups. One controls all the institutions and uses those institutions as a means to exploit the other group. What about Nazi Germany? An interpretation of Nietzsche could be used to argue those in power can use whatever means they desire to maintain or extend that power, even genocide.
Morality is not a slippery slope. It's a precipice. The moment you decide there's a moral obligation to regulate morality, yours, or especially somebody else's, you have chosen the side of the benevolent deity. And if you choose to believe that morality is intrinsic to nature, then you just might be willfully delusional. You're familiar with cancer, plague, T-Rex, Hitler, tornadoes. That's nature. It has no conscience. But Israel, a lot of people think the cosmos is conscious. I don't know everything. The universe might be conscious. But I can tell you for certain, it doesn't have a conscience. If a child falls off a cliff, gravity will show no mercy. And I assure you, the sun has no moral obligation not to explode and destroy everything you know and love.
I bring up Nietzsche because his critique of Christianity puts a spotlight on the true nature of evil. Nietzsche argues that Christianity is an imposter. It tells us to be strong, we need to be compassionate, humble, and charitable to the have-nots, even at the expense of our own self-interest. Christianity tells us that the pursuit of wealth, power, and status is not only immoral, but indicative of weakness. Nietzsche argues that this is a perversion, not of morality, because that's not real.
Synthetic morality.
It's a perversion of the natural order, the fundamental force in the universe that facilitates the existence of all things and drives all things to fulfill their potential, to maximize. Nietzsche believes that Christianity is weakness disguised as strength. He sees it as a diabolical weapon. Diabolical, not only because it causes the powerful to cede power to the weak, but because it is designed to infiltrate the psyche of the strong. It's designed to be internalized so thoroughly that the exceptional man would seek to be perceived not as exceptional, but as one of the mediocre masses. And he would do so without even questioning the underlying ethics of this decision. And that brings me to true power. And this is where I say, Nietzsche, you are totally right and completely wrong. Yes, a people who were strangers in every land they went taught us that we should be kind to strangers. Yes, a people with no military power taught us to value peace and non-violence. But whether they were motivated by self-interest or blessed with the divine revelation of fundamental truth, the Judeo-Christian moral worldview has been the greatest asset to and facilitator of, wait for it, Western civilization. The white supremacists who institutionalized slavery could only sustain it as long as people believe the lie that there is a social hierarchy that reflects a natural order where whites are superior to people of color. The Russians can only sustain their war on the Ukrainian people as long as the Russian people believe the cynical lie that the Ukrainian government is run by Nazi sympathizers and that the West is backing them in a conspiratorial plot to undermine Russian autonomy. The Nazis could only justify the wholesale slaughter of Jews and others they deemed undesirable based on the lie that these were inferior people whose very existence threatened to destroy the German state.
Disinformation.
Why did they have to lie? Michael Jordan didn't have to lie to justify a slam dunk on an opponent. All he had to say was, I'm Michael Jordan. I dunked because I can. I dunked because that's the maximum expression of my power. I dunked because by in doing so, I am demonstrating my superiority over my opponent. When you have to be disingenuous, when you have to lie about your motivation, that is an admission of weakness. You're not a superior man, woman, group, or nation.
You have no core values
Other than to maintain and expand your own power, privilege, and prestige. That's not Nietzschean. And that's not Christian. That is weakness masquerading as strength. That is the imposter. That is the greatest adversary to truth.
But water would just glisten all over your body. What did you say? Water would glisten all over your body.
I'm about brothers getting paid. I'm unapologetic about that.
I can't teach you no more. We the best. We take it.
She like that, huh? That what they like, oh you like that, huh? That's what they like.
Prank trips, big whips, big dogs with the big chips, the big
Add the sauce on top of the lobster.